Let me tell you right away that our expectations for 3 months have been justified. Episode 78 broke all possible records, both in terms of expectations and the number of leaked frames. But despite everything, the episode turned out to be very epic, and most importantly, in this episode we were revealed some details. For example, in today's video, we will learn how teleportation works TV-men and what Jeffrey is hiding, find out what the secret agent is doing here, find out why Speakerman Titan did not arrive on the battlefield with the entire Speakerman armada, where the Hunter flew to, as well as at the very end we will see a new spoiler from Mr. Boom. Assume the approximate release date of episode 79. This and much more in today's video, so don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Well, let's begin our detailed analysis. The place of action takes place on one of the bases of the Alliance. There are all representatives of races, including Skibidi toilets. From the very first frame, we see how to remove technology from the Astro toilets. Then, we are already shown how they install these new technologies. Besides, here we can see the toilet spy from the 16th episode. 2 people are working on his improvements, one engineer cameraman and Skibidi toilet. From the improvements, we notice that now the toilet has a protective field. As we can see, the atmosphere is calm and without any arguments, everyone is doing his work. After that, we move to another room where Speakerman is already working. Skibidi Toilet is trying to explain something to them. You can also notice that almost every agent is watching the base, because they have video surveillance cameras everywhere. Then we move on to another building, where work is also boiling. Did you notice him? I found this character very strange, because he was glowing a little green, although there was no green light near him. But there was some kind of experience with Astro toilet technology going on in this room, and this character was leading the process. Next, we see the agents, as well as the surviving humans who are hiding in this base with the agents. After that, a woman approaches the cameraman and says,
"Without your help, we wouldn't be alive and well."
Then the man on the couch asks,
"How's my steak, bro?"
To which he replies,
"Raw. Needs more cooking."
And actually, we've already seen this snippet as a spoiler, and for some reason, we thought it was a fake plum. After these words, we see that all cameramen have transmission error. Then on the screen appears the inscription, "Your location is compromised, retreat immediately." After this, it becomes clear to everyone that now there will be an attack of Astro toilets, so everyone prepared to meet them. Very abruptly, an Astro toilet named Hunter rushes in, along with Astro fighters, and completely destroys the base. The cameraman survives and records the last seconds of his life. Astro toilets everywhere. Hunter tastes a human being. Next, an Astro Duchess lands on the spot and says,
"Break?"
and then asks to be given a human to taste as well. Hunter asks, "How does the human taste?" To which she replies, "It's raw, it needs more frying." And that was a reference to this scene. This is where the show's writer wanted to show that while in the first case, humans are dominant over animals, in this situation, the alien beings are dominant. Or maybe she just wanted to mess with them with the same phrase. While they were dialoguing, the cameraman doesn't miss his opportunity and quickly picks up his weapon and tries to destroy the Duchess. But she reacts instantly and turns on her defenses. At this point, the Duchess can't even contain her emotions and just laugh at the cameraman. Then the Hunter throws his weapon out of the cameraman's hands and already kills him. After that, the tape disappears like hundreds of other recordings. Behind the scenes, we hear the voice of the TV man who says,
"After capturing our Titan, the enemy gained access to our transmissions, and many of our secret locations were exposed. We stopped transmitting intelligence immediately, but it's only a matter of time until they find all of us."
Then at the very end, the TV man says,
"We've gone blind."
Meaning they can no longer follow the cameraman. Next, we see that at some base, they have made a portable camera in version 2.0. At the top, we can see a sign that it is recording. Then the TV man continues his monologue and gives a task.
"There was a group of researchers in Eastern Europe. Their status is unknown. You need to rescue and transport the survivors, if there are any left. The most important thing is, don't die."
As you realized, it's a new handheld camera. It's designed with new technology so that Astro toilets can't track them. The chief cameraman scientist has been working on this project with scientist Kleiner. As we've already realized, a hybrid J-Squad toilet is being sent on the mission. He has been trained and prepared for him a new armament based on the technology of Astro toilets. Upon receiving the technology, the hybrid shows the cameramen their same gesture, a barking gesture to which the cameraman scientist reacts negatively due to a past feud between the cameramen and the Skibidi toilets. Hybrid agrees to go on this assignment, but is only interested in one question. What about you? Will you stay here? To which the elite TV man replies,
It's now or never. We will go to the battlefield.
Next to him, we notice the very same TV man who is always smiling because he is stupid. His name is Larry, by the way. And on the right side, we see a new TV man wearing a scarf. Let me remind you that for the entire Skibidi toilet storyline, not a single TV man has died. After the elite TV man answered the hybrid's question, they are immediately teleported to the battlefield. At the base, we notice a large TV man calling for the hybrid to quickly transport him to the battlefield. Skibidi Toilet then offers to hug him, as he knows that to teleport he needs to touch the TV man. To which he gets a negative response and has to hold on to anything, and that's where the most mysterious part of episode 78 begins. We're inside the TV man's teleportation, to which the TV man asks,
Do you have any idea what this place is? It's the future or perhaps the past that dwells in the corners of this darkness. You know what happens when an outside entity stays here too long? One of us has the answer. Jeffrey doesn't mind the company.
Well, let's break this scene down. The big TV man shows Skibidi Toilet the future of planet Earth, but also shows him the past, specifically how the hybrid Skibidi Toilet itself was created. It was created personally by Skibidi the scientist. And at the end, we are told that in this dimension, where Skibidi and the TV man are at the moment, you can't stay too long, because you can get stuck here forever, just like Jeffrey is stuck here. As we realized, Jeffrey is the only TV man who didn't follow the instructions and decided to stay in this dimension for a long time. This dimension is actually opened when the TV mans teleport, and it's not entirely clear whether or not TV mans can travel through time or what the limitations are. But what we do know is that if you stay here long enough, you can lose your mind, like Jeffrey. This scene reveals to us why the TV mans are so smart. It's simple. They just know the outcome of the battle. That's why they didn't take any risks. For example, in episode 43, and in the rest of the episodes. So far, we cannot 100% confirm this theory, but if you are interested, I'm ready to make a separate analysis about the TV man, where I will try to tell everything that is known about them. If you are interested, let's get 5,555 likes. Hybrid Toilet and TV man are teleported to the battlefield. It's been a tough battle for a long time. Astro toilets everywhere. As we can see, the Alliance is losing ground as there are too many Astro toilets. On the battlefield, we see the characters we saw at the beginning. Here's the spy toilet, and here's the Skibidi toilet with a hairstyle. The big TV man starts the attack. After, and the hybrid toilet launches an attack. Skibidi toilet pulls out his improved katanas and just reflects all the Astro toilet's shots. Skibidi toilet is not alone. He is joined by a large TV man and a large cameraman. In addition to his melee weapons, we notice he has 3 cannons, 2 side cannons, and 1 wrist cannon. Hybrid easily copes with this Astro toilet. He says that he surrenders, to which Hybrid says, "No prisoners taken." Further, Hybrid toilet shows us his guns, and after destroying all the toilets, he twirls his guns in his hands. After that, the hybrid toilet kills all the Astro toilets, along with the big cameraman. Next, the big TV man lands on this spot, and while landing, he destroys one of the YouTube buildings, and as you can see, this was a reference to episode 33, when G-Man destroys the YouTube building. TV man lands saying, "You screwed up," and unscrews the head of the Astro toilet. Hybrid says, "Good job," to which TV man says, "You better turn around." An Astro toilet flies up from behind, but Lego handles it. After him, a larger Astro toilet flies up and crashes into the hybrid toilet. The impact was so strong that they fall inside the building, and when the Astro toilet was about to finish off the hybrid, a TV man named Larry comes to his aid. At first, he tries to hypnotize him, but then the Astro toilet activates his eye protection, after which Larry attacks him to remove his helmet. He succeeds. Then the hypnosis continues, and the mind of the Astro toilet is now under Larry's control. Then the Astro toilet is eliminated, but at the last moment, the Astro toilet comes to its senses. But it was too late. Next, Larry connects to the hull of the Astro toilet, and without a word, just flies away. To all of this, the hybrid says,
What the Sigma?
the whole building collapses, and the hybrid toilet saves Laurie's defenseless body. Since Laurie can't feel it, the hybrid quickly leaves this collapsed building, saving himself and Laurie. Task completed. Now we need to reach the evacuation site and leave this dangerous place. Laurie has been successfully delivered to the evacuation site. Next, the big TV man starts the teleportation process. But at the last moment, a hidden astro toilet appears on the radar, and the hybrid has to fly a little aside to deal with this toilet. He gets close to it and takes it out, but when he turns around, he can't see the big TV man anymore, as they've already teleported away. But by the way, he's not alone. Larry's head is still there, and it's moving again in some strange direction. And as it turns out, it's not just a movement, but an oscillation, because in the distance we notice the very astro toilet named Hunter. A lot of astro toilets appear at this place, and realizing that he can't cope with them, the hybrid says, if this is the end of my life, then so be it. Hunter is too fast, and he can't be destroyed in the same way as the hybrid did with those astro toilets. Hybrid uses another weapon, but that doesn't work either, which he wonders at. The astro toilet attacks him and destroys all his weapons. He then stabs the toilet's Skibidi with his sword and says,
It's over. The fate of your people has already been decided. Say your last word.
To which the hybrid replies, I can't believe the last thing I'm going to see is your ugly face. And just as Hunter was about to finish off the hybrid, the long-awaited Speakerman Armada shows up at the last moment. Still, some Speakermen didn't change. Next, a huge astro toilet spider appears and fires a shot at the big Speaker Man. At this point, we see the big Speaker Man use the hybrid attack repulsion technique when the GI squad fought the astro toilets in episode 77. Hunter was in the palm of his hand the whole time, and at the last moment he managed to slip out of Speakerman's hand. After he was able to get out of captivity, he said, this will only delay your defeat. Further, he fled and possibly flew towards the Astro UFO and Astro Duchess, since he was previously with the Duchess. There are more Astro UFOs, and all of them are now aiming at the big Speakerman. But all of their shots are stopped by the Speakerman's ultrasound and are directed in the opposite direction. Thus, this troop of Astro Toilets was destroyed. One of the Astro Toilets says, we need to retreat. But it's too late. The Speakermen are everywhere, and they're just taking out the remaining Astro Toilets. The Speakermen have become too powerful. The thing is, they're using their enhanced technology in conjunction with the Astro Toilets technology. Not for nothing they have been hiding all this time, but unfortunately Speakerman Titan is still not ready for battle, as he is Titan, and it will take longer for him to implement new technologies. I think he will appear in the next episode. An additional squad of Astro Toilets arrives at this location, and by the way, it's that squad from episode 78, spoiler. But this time, this squad is handled by Speaker Woman, who instantly destroys all the Astro Toilets in her path by jumping. She's still in pink shades, and now she has different clothes. She has a cape as well as 2 swords. She has appeared as spectacularly as she did in her first appearance. In this shot, we can get a closer look at her. She has completely different clothes as well as shoes. If she had only a pink shirt before, now she is completely in pink. And instead of small blades, she now has 2 swords. Another Astro Toilet arrives and fires a shot at Speakerman, but the shot is stopped by the big Speakerman using his sword. Also, Speakerman has an improved Speakerman Spider. It is now many times better and stronger. The Speaker Spider is almost unrecognizable. Now the Spider has remote speakers, with the help of which you can destroy in stereo mode any enemy. After they hit the last Astro Toilet, one of the Speakermen says, "Stop hiding," and sticks a Speakerman ID into the toilet. Then goes on and says, "The invaders will be executed." And as soon as the identifying sign went off, all the Speakermen arrived at that spot. I suggest we just watch this moment without comment. Next, the speaker woman hands the katana to the hybrid. Afterwards, everyone prepares for the second wave of Astro Toilets attacks. When the Astro Toilets appear, we can spot a speakerman named Pablo at the very end. Why he didn't improve remains a mystery. An armada of speakermen is caught surrounded by Astro Toilets, and a huge Astro Toilet appears in the aftermath, and episode 78 ends at that point. The 78th episode turned out to be very epic, although originally, Dafukboom didn't plan to make this episode so memorable, and in general, this episode was supposed to be a passing episode. But as you can see, plans change, and this time we were shown a 14-minute episode with action and some character reveals. Also, I think you have already noticed that since Season 25, the graphics of Skibidi Toilet have changed, and now it looks more modern. What do you think? Which graphics were better? Write your opinion in the comments. Also, let's see what Dafukboom wrote in the description below the episode this time. It says, "Tide of War is turning. Animators Strider and Deer from Ohio are now working on the animations in place of HoovyTube. This means that new episodes will now be released more frequently, and it's possible that work on episode 79 is already underway. Usually, when Dafukboom worked alone, episodes would come out after 2 weeks. But now, I think episodes might come out every week. What do you think? Post your opinion in the comments. Also, right after the release of the episode, Dafukboom sent a spoiler where he revealed all the characters, except for Titan Speakerman. By the way, we were able to reveal some agents who did not watch the previous videos. I recommend to watch. Well, goodbye everyone.